Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to be talking about the brand new one from Debridement entitled Compositions of Decomposition. Now, if you're not familiar with Debridement, it is a one-man slam slash brutal death metal band from Northern Ireland that have been around since 2016 and is the brainchild of one Connor Brown, who pretty much handles everything on this recording. He's also in a band called Oncology, which is absolutely awesome as well. This is Debridement's second full-length album. It is 13 tracks and 37 minutes on the dot. Just released recently by Rotten Music. And, I've been a fan of this project as well as Oncology. So, I was very excited when I was given the opportunity to check out this brand new album and spend some time with it. And, if you're a fan of brutal death metal and slam, you pretty much know what to expect from a release like this. The guitar work on here is it's heavy and chunky, mixing kind of mid to fast-paced riffs with some slower, heavier, chugged moments. At times they have a bit of a Mortician feel to them, I feel. The bass on here is thick and heavy. It's not super high up in the mix, yet it's clearly heard throughout the entire album. Track number 3, Searing Flesh Enlightenment. At the 3:04 mark, I love the little break where it's just the bass playing. You really get to hear that tone really well. It occurs at other times on this album as well, but that was the first occurrence that stood out to me. The drums on here are programmed, and overall, it's pretty good and pretty well done. The snare has a nice snap to it and doesn't have that really annoying, ping type of snare that a lot of brutal death metal can have. And there's some really fast double bass on here as well. At times, though it's not too often when you're listening to the album, I think the kick drums can get just a little clicky. That's really about my only gripe, and I really wouldn't even call it a serious gripe per se. It's just something that I notice. And like I said, it doesn't happen all the time. There's just been times when I was listening to it, and it's like, okay, that kick drum's a little clicky there. But, other than that, I thought the drum programming was well done. Now, vocally, Connor utilizes a very low-end, kind of guttural growl with these nasty, almost, retching and puking style screams. He does do some kind of, style vocals, some kind of pig squeals in a way. But those are very few and far between on this release because I know a lot of people can't stand those. And at times he kind of reminds me a little bit of Ross Sewage. I just kind of, he reminded me of him a little bit at times. Now, when you get to track number 5, One to the Jugular, at the 2:33 mark, he does these vocals that are just, they're so odd sounding, yet they're also very cool sounding at the same time. And honestly, words just, it's hard to come up with the words to describe how these vocals sound. You really just have to hear them for yourself. And it actually happens in a few other tracks on this album as well. It's like he does these style vocals, and you're just like, what the hell was that? That's cool sounding, but it's odd, but it's cool at the same time. But overall, I thought he turned in a really solid vocal performance on here. Some of the other things I picked out: track number 6, John Cox Tolstoy, that is very hard to say. The opening to this song is this kind of cool 80s sounding bit that, honestly, to me, when I listened to it, could have been off of the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, which would have been cool because I love the Beverly Hills Cop movies, though really I think the first 2 are about the best in that series. Then you get to track number 9, Choose the Destructor, excuse me, and I just have one word for that: Ghostbusters. Fucking love Ghostbusters. Now, overall, I think this is just a solid slab of brutal death metal. It's nothing that's really going to reinvent the wheel per se, but it's a pretty good listen and very fun. Much like Mortician, there's a lot of movie samples on here, but unlike Mortician, it doesn't stick strictly to horror movies. There are some horror samples, but then you got with the previous track that I mentioned, Choose the Destructor, it starts with a clip from the Ghostbusters, and that's one of my all-time favorite movies. You get another one where you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger singing, yeah, yakety yak, don't talk back, from, I believe it was from the movie Twins. But yeah, honestly, if you're a fan of bands like Party Cannon, Indiana's own Engutterment, cephaloslamectomy, sorry, that is such a hard band name to say, or like, cerebral incubation, bands like that, I'm pretty sure you will dig Debridement. So yeah, I would give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Go check out the new Debridement. I will be leaving a link down below to the Bandcamp so you can check it out for yourself and pick up a copy if you so wish. So yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and until next time, stay brutal.